It's time to live your stronger life. Hey, I'm Sammy, physio coach and nutritionist, and your hype girl for creating your stronger life. Here, we ditch the quick fixes and build real strength inside and out. So whether you're here to tone up, drop the body fat, build muscle, mental resilience, or ditch the diet culture, or just feel bloody good in your skin, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. The dreaded Sunday meal prep. You've seen it on Instagram. Perfectly portioned containers lined up in a spotless fridge. You know, the grilled chicken, the brown rice, the steamed broccoli, the fancy doodah sauces with sprinkles on top. And you're like, oh, that looks so goddamn beautiful. And it's repeated 6 times and it's just like the fridge is stunning. And maybe you've tried it and you lasted 2 weeks before you wanted to throw a Tupperware container through a window because you could not eat one more bite of the same thing and you don't want to spend another 17 hours cooking on a Sunday to only spend another 25 hours cleaning up after all of the mess. I get it. Here's what nobody tells you about meal prep. It does not have to look like that at all. Meal prep isn't a specific meal. It is a system. And today I'm going to give you a system that actually works for normal, busy women like you and I. Because most people approach meal prep as an all or nothing event. Full day in the kitchen, cook everything, portion everything, or don't even bother. And that approach fails for 2 main reasons. One, it's boring. Eating the same meal every single day for most women is miserable. I mean, I'll be the first to put my hand up and say I do eat the exact same thing every single day because I'd rather wear my diet like a uniform and I don't want to have to think twice about what I'm eating, and I really don't care about food that much. So to me personally, I find it so easy. I eat plain Jane. I eat the same thing every single day because I just don't care. Like, it's fine. But I do respect that for some women, they want variety, they want flavor. They do put a lot of passion into their food, and so they want some variety, but also the meal prep. And so then, you know, trying to eat the same meal every day can be really miserable, and it leads to falling off completely and a lot of food wastage. And 2, the other reason is life doesn't cooperate. You had a busy Saturday, Sunday morning something came up, you didn't get to prep, and so now you have nothing and the whole week it just falls apart. So the goal isn't to prep perfectly. The goal is to set yourself up to make better decisions when you're tired, you're rushed, and you're hungry. You're AKA just being a bloody normal human being, not what you see on social media. So there are 3 levels of meal prep, and most people only know about the most extreme one. So level 1 is component prepping. This is actually kind of how I do it. This is the most flexible approach and honestly the one I recommend for most women. So instead of cooking full meals, you prep individual components. A big batch of protein, a grain, big batch of rice, you cook your potatoes, you prep your veggies, and then you can mix and match across the week. So you might cook, 2 kilos of chicken mince, a big pot of rice, roast 2 trays of veggies, and then from those things you can make stir fries, rice bowls, wraps, soups, salads. You can combine the potatoes. You can just have meat and veg like with potatoes, or you can do the meat with veg and rice, or you can do it with pasta. Like it's like the same shit, different day, but with a different rotation of things. And that's similar to an episode a couple of episodes back where I do the 2x2 method. Highly recommend you go and listen to that because I do talk a little bit more about that, and that comes down to the component prepping. Level 2 is 1 full meal prepped. So you could pick your biggest problem meal, the one where you're most likely to make a bad decision, and you just prep that one. For most women, that's lunch. So for a lot of women that I coach, they will meal prep their breakfasts like the night before, make their little overnight oats or the overnight wheat bix or something like that. And then they'll meal prep their lunches for the week and their snack boxes for the week. So those 2 are done and dusted for work. So that's like grab and go, ready to go. And then dinners are the component prep where they can go, all right, tonight we're going to have tacos. I've already got the mince cooked. And then the next night they're like, oh, we're going to have pasta. I've already got the mince cooked. I can just chuck it with the pasta. So you have the fundamental ingredients there, but then you can still have variety with the kids to rotate between different meals. So that usually works really, really well. And then level 3, and this is where most people start, but they really shouldn't bother, is the full meal prep. And it does work for some, but every meal, every day, portioned, ready to rock and roll. And yes, it is actually really handy during the week, but it's a pain in the ass to do. And it does work for short blocks, or when you're really in a structured phase. But for a lot of women, it's not sustainable forever, because especially if you want to have like family dinners with a bit of flexibility too. The other thing that I want to say is prep doesn't mean cooking everything from scratch. Like you can buy the, roast chook from the supermarket. You can use canned fish. You can use pre-washed salad bags, microwavable rice pouches if you're in a pinch, or frozen vegetables. Like all of those are just smart uses of time, and that can all really, really help to be able to, meal prep without having to be absolutely perfect. And so if it means that you're going to be able to eat all the way through the week more consistently instead of ordering Uber Eats, then it is absolutely practical and absolutely a win. So here is a simple starting framework. Pick one prep session per week to get you started. It's 60, 90 minutes at the most. And honestly, if you're just chopping up food and popping it in the oven, it's even less time because it's just in the oven. Sundays do work for most people, but it doesn't have to be. And in that session, you're going to do 3 things. You're going to cook your main protein source in bulk, 1 or 2 protein sources. You're going to prep the most important carbs, such as cook a big batch of rice. And maybe pasta cooks pretty quick, so you can kind of do pasta on the fly, but you could prep your rice in advance. Prep your veggies, whether that's roasting, washing and chopping, or just buying pre-prepped ready to go. And then keep your snacks really simple. Yogurt, fruit, protein bars, boiled eggs. These don't really need cooking. They can just be in the fridge ready to grab and go. And build a rotation of 5 to 6 meals you genuinely like. Not meals you think you should eat, meals you actually enjoy, and then just add veggies to it to make it even better. Because you'll prep what you actually like to eat. And just keep it simple. And when you have a couple of meals that you can just rotate between that all have similar calories and macros, it makes meal prepping a lot easier because you're not playing Tetris every single week. You just know, okay, I can pick between any of these meals and they'll all fit in the plan really nicely, and I'll just rotate between them. And they all have the same base ingredients but with different spins on it, and that's another way to meal prep as well. And always have a backup plan, always. On a week where prep didn't happen, what's your move going to be? A few smart backup options is always have some canned tuna in the cupboard, some rice cakes, some packet rice. You can have some fruit, have a protein shake and a banana, as emergency food, or go and grab a roast chook. Your full fallbacks before you need it. Load the freezer up with options as well. So meal prep doesn't have to be about being the most disciplined woman in the room. It's about making discipline easier. Every good decision you make in advance is one less decision your tired, hungry post-work self has to make. And tired, hungry you makes very different choices to Sunday afternoon you who's motivated, sorted, and prepped and ready to rock and roll. So you're not doing meal prep because you love it. You're doing it because future you deserves to not have to figure it out from scratch every single day. That's not restriction, that's freedom. So start small, 1 session, cook your protein in bulk, prep your carbs in bulk, see how the week feels. And if you come and find me on Instagram, I may send you some recipes to help give you a few ideas. Easy recipes that are realistic, not 1,001 ingredient recipes. So yeah, come find me on Instagram and I'll send them straight to you. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and subscribe. And I'd love if you shared this on your Instagram and tag me Sammy_livestrong. And if you'd like to learn more about my coaching and join the Project Livestrong family, please message me Livestrong on Instagram and I'll see how I can help. I'll see you next time.